Okay, so I'm in my shed today. I did all these shelves the other day, but I've got a problem. I've got this loft up here. I got no way to get up into it, except for to haul my ladder out every time I want to, and it's just a pain in the butt because that ladder is long and it lives in my garage, and I want it to bring it all the way here to get up there to bring it all the way back. So today I'm going to build some stairs going up. But my issue here is I don't want stairs or a ladder like filling up the whole middle section of my shed. So I'm going to make one that will be on hinges and be able to lift up out of the way when I'm not using it, and I'll be able to lower it back in. And so we're going to show you how we're going to do that. Really, my big issue here is to get me from here to here is actually longer, believe it or not, than here to over there. So I was hoping I could just build some stairs and lift it up, but it's too long. So I'm gonna actually have to cut my stairs in half so they can fold to lift them up. So we're gonna show you how we're gonna do that. And to kind of give you an idea, I'll got a little kind of mock up here to show you what the real plan is. So just kind of the plan here. This is, let's say this is the top of the loft right here. And this is my ladder. So I'm gonna have a hinge right here so it can hinge up and come up out of the way. But also I'm gonna have a hinge here so it's gonna fold up like this and then fold up out of the way. So we'll show you how we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll have some ropes or something to secure that, and we'll show you that in the end. All right, well, let's get to it. So first of all, I wanna kind of figure out the angle I want. So I don't want it too angled down, but I also don't want it straight up and down. So I'm gonna go for, let me see if I can back out here, about this angle. Now, one of the things I'm looking at is with the floor of my shed, you know, I got the joists underneath. I'm bringing it out so it's sitting right on a joist right here. And that way it'll give, you know, more support, and I won't be pushing through the floor of my shed. So that's one thing. And I'm not doing anything fancy with this. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Put my little mark up here to cut this off straight here. But you gotta know, you know, since this isn't sitting up against this right now like it's gonna, if I cut it off here, it's actually gonna shift that in just a little bit by a couple inches. So what I wanna do, here's my mark with where it's level. I'm actually gonna come up just a couple of inches and cut that off and come check it out. I'm kind of just eyeballing this. It's not any, I mean, there's definitely ways you can do it more precise, but for people that don't have tons of tools and stuff, this will get me by. And one of the things, you can always cut a little higher. That way you don't cut too low. And then you can come back if it's too tall still. So we'll go ahead and get that cut and then bring it back and look at it. Okay, we've gone ahead and cut that. That's about where my hinge is gonna sit. And then right here, this corner is sitting right about where my joist is. When I cut this straight, it's gonna come and set more center of the row there. So that's another thing you gotta kind of watch out for. But we got this one cut. Now we're gonna go ahead and just cut the other one to the same length. Okay, now we're going ahead and we got those to length, and now we're cutting them in half, or cutting them in half because they need to be able to fold. So I just went ahead and cut them. I don't want them totally in half. I don't need it like that. So I just picked a length and went for it. If you need yours directly in half, then cut it in half, but it's up to you where you want to put the hinge on it. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the hinges screwed to it, and we'll show you how that goes. Okay, so I got these heavy duty hinges at Home Depot. So it's gonna go in there, and then the other one, we'll pretend this is the top of the shed or the loft. It's gonna go like that, and so it'll just hinge up. So we'll go ahead and drill some pilot holes right here on this, and then screw this in, and then we'll screw it up to the loft. now let's just screw the hinge on. Seat it in, just like that, and we'll do it for the rest of them. Now we got this. We're going to put the screws for the hinges in the middle. So we got the hinge down there, bottom, and then we're just going to do the same thing here. We'll drill some pilot holes and put it together, and so it'll hinge up on itself. And we'll show you when that's done. It probably would have been easier to do this before I cut these in half, but we're doing it now. I got my board stood up here. And so we're gonna come down here. We got to figure out this angle to cut this thing straight. And I've already done my line, but what I did here, and I essentially took my square here and put it up. And my ground's not level here, so it's not gonna be, doesn't need to be perfect. But I looked and I saw that it's at about 2 inches up. So I just came back here, drew my line at 2 inches up, and went from that corner to there, drew my line. And that's gonna get us a good enough angle for here. Yeah, there's more precise ways to figure this out if you know math and you want to research it on the internet, but that's the way I found that it's gonna work good enough for me here. We'll go ahead and get it cut. So one of the problems we face with this design is the screw in the, or the hinges in the middle, they're on top, and so the ladder is going to want to bend in. So we've got to make some supports for it. So I'll show you how I'm addressing this problem. First of all, I'm going to make these cleats to add some support. All it is a 2x4, a leftover piece of my 4x6, 2x6. And so I just got these 3-inch decking screws that I used when I built my shelves. Put them in, and I'm just going to screw it on right here. And then it turns into this, and I'll show you what we're doing with this in just a moment. So as I said, one of the problems we're facing is our hinge right here allows it to open up, and we don't want that to happen. So what I did is I showed you those my phone just decided to go low battery. I showed you those cleats that I made, and they kind of go on there. But what we did is we drilled out I got some 1 1/4 inch dowels, and we drilled out some holes to go in. And we will we'll go ahead and we're going to glue those dowels to the cleat, and then we'll just make a thing we can pull them out and allow it to fold up. And I'll show you how we're making these and what we're doing there. Okay, so I've gone ahead. I put my cleat on how I want it. Now, keep in mind, you got 2 of them, so I don't want to drill this one in, put it in the wrong way or whatever. But I guess, so I've gone ahead and marked my holes right here and right here where I want to drill. I just bought this 1 1/4 inch drill bit for like $8 or whatever. Not expensive. And we're going to go ahead and drill out the first hole. We'll go ahead and get the first hole drilled out and make sure this cleat's flush up against it. Center. So that's the first one. Go ahead and pull that hole out. a little bottom part. Okay, now let's get this back in. And before we drill the other hole, we want to make sure it's lined up. You can see my head here. We want to make sure it's all lined up. So we'll take our dowel. It's been rolling around here somewhere. Take the dowel and we'll put that in just to make sure it's lined up where we want it to go. So now we'll drill this next one and it'll all be good. So probably the better thing to do would clamp these together, but I didn't do that. But just in the future reference, that's probably your better option, is to clamp them together. Okay. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out, we're gonna put the steps in now. So we gotta figure out the angle here. So I got my little aluminum T-bevel, only a couple bucks at Home Depot. There's other ways to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. Figured that for the floor. And then I've marked out, gotta sneeze, maybe. Whoa. So then I've marked out where I want each of my steps. And so I'll just put the T-bevel up against that like that, and then I'll just draw the line. And that's what I've done on all of these. So I'll draw the line. Now, one thing you want to do when planning out these, where these are going, is where your steps are going to go. So I looked at this beforehand. I'm going to have one step right here. It's actually going to be right like that. And so it's not in the way of that. And it's right on there. You could always make this a little bit longer so you could have it in between, but you want your steps between 10 and 12 inches. I'm doing 12 inches between it. This here is a little shorter. Then up here at the top is a little shorter. I did in between these two is only 10 inches instead of 12, so I could have one right here at the top. So we're going to go ahead and mark all these out, and then we're going to go ahead and screw everything in. So what I went ahead and did, see on this side, marked the lines where the line here, where the steps were going to go. Pre-drilled a hole through, but I've kind of lightly screwed them all in inside. And now the trick is I've got to line up that other side to make sure, because the whole hinge thing, it's got a hinge. All right, so I got to line up the other side, as well as one of the reasons why I did the line is to make sure these are level. But we'll cross that in a minute if it's not. But right now, I've got this other side attached with it being able to hinge. So we're going to go ahead and first of all, we're just going to attach the top and the bottom to get it loosely put together. So what we did is we measured in this top corner here is 1 inch in, and it is 10 inches up. Okay, so we just did the same thing here. We measured 1 inch in and 10 inches up, and that's how we're gonna mark this top corner. We're gonna screw it in with that right on that little mark there, and that should get us. I didn't video it, but we did get it into the shed here. Used my wife to carry it over here. I just attached the top rung and the very bottom rung. These other ones are just kind of hanging. They're only attached by one side right now. And then I just screwed one screw into each side. And these screws, I didn't use the ones that came with it. They're a little shorter. I used, I think these are 1.5 inch decking screws to go in. I just did one on each for now. While I get it hung. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get these each of these steps level and screw them in all the way and get them done. And we'll get that all the way down once I get all of them down, I'll take these blocks out and get the next ones down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I won't show it to you, but needless to say, we're just gonna use the level, get it level, and screw it in. Oh. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these dowels and we're gonna glue them into these holes so they're permanent on these cleats that we made. They'll slide in and out on the ladder part, but here we want them permanent. So we're just gonna add some wood glue to it and glue them in, and then these are done. All right, so we're doing the last step here. It's kind of dark in here because during the next day, and well, lo and behold, it's snowing outside. It was 50 degrees yesterday. So what I've done here, last step, I got the first screw in, and now we got our little level. Make sure, I had the long level on here earlier when I showed you, but you need one that's not turned because it's going to affect it whether it's this way. So we're going to get it level here. This is actually pretty tight in here. My hammer's in my garage, but tap it down just a bit. Get it level. And then I'm going to put a screw in, or then we're going to turn it this way. And see how we got to level it that way too. So kind of tap the back of it here. Oh, oops, wrong way. You get that level. Okay. Now that it's level, I'm going to put my second screw in here. I've left one side of the cleat in just to kind of help it hold it up, to help with this. So I'll get this second screw put in here, and then I go ahead and get the other side. All right, so we got all the stairs on. Now we're just gonna, I gotta build the thing to lift it up into place or whatever and hold it. But now it's able to just fold up and lift up into place. And I'll have some that just secures it up here. So it's up and out of the way when I don't need to get into things or whatever. Or they just, oh, I'm dropping stuff. Or I can have it down and then just put the cleats in. These are pretty stiff right now. After you do it a couple times, they'll loosen up because the dowels get kind of worn a little bit. But it's done. It's good. I'm happy with it. Good luck.
Okay, so it's been a while, but I'm getting around to finishing up my ladder for the shed. And if you remember, I had some, I've got those things on there. They go into these holes to hold the ladder steady. What I needed is a system to lift this ladder up and away so it's not sitting right here in the middle of my shed. So this is on a hinge here. Let me put you, so what I've done, I'm gonna get another eyelet, but right now I've just tied the rope around the ladder here, and then it goes up. There's an eyelet up in the ceiling, and then an eyelet right there to attach it all. So I'll put you here, and I'll raise this up and show you what I'm doing, or how it goes. So we just fold the ladder up like this. Get the rope out of the way. Lift the ladder up into place. And attach it. Now it's up out of the way. So you can see now here, I got this little carabiner thing that hooks into the eyelet to hold it all. It just goes up there. What you got to make sure is you got enough rope between here and all the way up there to allow the ladder to extend down all the way. So this knot doesn't get to that eyelet before your ladder gets down on the ground. But that's it. I'll probably get another one of these little eyelets and attach it right here. And so I can just clip the rope to the ladder as I need to. But as for now, I'm just tying it around here and it works. So nice and easy. And I got all this room to put crap in for my shed. Ladder is up and out of the way. And you know, all the stuff that goes up there isn't getting used a lot. So this ladder's not going to be coming down. And yeah, it's not the most convenient to have to put these in to keep it in place, but hey, I had to do what I had to do to get the ladder up out of the way and stuff. I'm not getting much out of there very often, so it's not like it's that big of a pain in the butt. All right, so that's this project. It's a shed project is done. Thanks for following along. Like and subscribe.